All right, so the plan for today, we're gonna get the planter serviced, get it greased, cleaned up, and probably go ahead and get some seed loaded in there and see if we can get some of our Triticale planted. You can see kind of back over here behind me, there's a little chance of rain. I'm still calling for about a 50% chance this afternoon. Famous last words, but I don't think it's supposed to rain very much. So if we miss it entirely, we'll obviously be in good shape. Even if it does rain, maybe it won't be too much, but we'll get some seed put in the ground. All right, so as we're getting the seed ready to go in the planter, look at there. Every farmer loves a free hat. We packed one in there, so shout out to Southeast Agri Seeds. I'll have to support the hat. Let's see how it looks. Already had it sized perfect for my head and everything. Fast forward a couple of days, it was kind of raining off and on there. We were trying to get started on Thursday. I think it only ended up raining about 1/10 of an inch, but it was enough just to kind of foul things up for us. So now Saturday morning, we're kind of getting an early start. Not going to be able to plant for very long today because we got to head to the hayfield. Got to wreck a little hay for my dad. Got some hay on the ground, want to get up because there's another chance of rain tomorrow, and I'm thinking an even better chance going into Monday. But try to get a little bit knocked out. I can get over about 4 acres with what the planter will hold. We'll probably plan out what we've got in there right now, and then call it quits on the planting, at least for this morning. I may have an opportunity this afternoon after we get done with the hay, just have a little daylight, get a little more planted. Need to get it done ideally this weekend. Let's get it next week. There's some chances of rain and whatnot. But talking a little about Triticale, which you may not be familiar with. I was not familiar with it at all until just a couple of years ago when we first planted it. But it's a hybrid between wheat and rye. So we'll get out and look at the seed more closer in a minute. You think of it basically being like wheat. We're growing it, just for the forage, not for the grain. Just like these calves grazing or cows grazing. Early next spring, maybe late winter, early spring, that comes up. We'll get off and check, see how the planter's doing here in a second. Kind of show you what the seed looks like. All right, so we've really got a gorgeous morning. I think the sun's supposed to shine all day, but getting over here, some of this bare ground, let you see. There's a seed there, kind of throughout here in some of these bare spots. One there, but you see we're obviously planting into this what was our Sudex or sorghum Sudan grass. Go over here where we haven't planted yet. You can see a little better. A lot of that's still putting back out. You have to be careful grazing at this time of year right after a frost. It can present a problem. Prussic acid levels, basically cyanide poisoning on the cattle. And we actually did have just a really light, kind of patchy frost. I hadn't seen any on this farm, but just up the road earlier when we were checking our stocker calves, we had a little frost on some spots there. But we'll probably actually let them back in here to graze this, just depending. I think looking at the extended forecast, again, not a real threat of a significant frost over these next week or so. So depending on how this grows back, let them graze it back a little more. That'll also help with some of this other grass and vegetation that's presenting a little bit of competition for this Triticale as it starts to jump up out of the ground. One problem, one of the few things or complaints I have about this Great Plains no-till cedar, you can see our the roller spikes under there. I had that good and nice cleaned off. See that on the other side's not as bad. When the ground's a little sticky and this vegetation's a little wet, it tends to wrap up on there pretty bad. So we periodically have to stop and clean that off. But anyway, things going pretty good. Like I said, we're gonna get this plant out section checked. See, we've just made a couple of passes, so yeah, hopper's still pretty full, but so we can get over about 4 acres with what we've got in there. Get that run out. It's already about 9:15. Probably gonna be time to head towards the hayfield, or at least be getting things ready. Maybe closer to 11 o'clock so we can get some hay rake, get the dew dried off. But keep getting after it. Across the bridge. That is Hurricane Creek. Make it through there. We actually just replaced all the decking on that bridge. This was last spring, last summer. Alright, so back off the tractor for a few minutes. We're going to park the planter there. Shut some of these gates. It's about 10:15, but the sun is out. We've got a nice breeze blowing, and dew ought to be dried off that hay here within the next hour or so, and go ahead and start raking. Probably closer to 3 hours getting done. We're about right at halfway. And then on top of all that, I was really planning on going to a bull sale today. I decided last weekend that I probably wasn't going to actually go just because it's about a 3-hour drive, and I'm afraid that these bulls may be outside of my budget. But if the internet will allow, I'm gonna try to watch that online and maybe do some bidding. Still haven't replaced Rebel, our Brahma bull that we had to put down back in the spring, but actually we're looking at some Brangus bulls. But anyway, we'll see. That may not work out, but just say about 4 or 5 different things we're trying to get done. Busy time of year, trying to wrap up, looks like hay production and all those sorts of things as we settle into fall. Dad running the ground baler there, but it's a second field. We've got get our smaller patches out of the way first and go to last bigger farm. I don't get to help out very much with the hay anymore, not as much as I did back when I was in high school and even college. Dad's been doing a little more of the hay these days with my uncle and cousin and the rest of the farm crew. Busy on the row crop side. They're finishing shelling up corn. They're shelling corn right now. I think they'll finish today if they haven't already finished, and then they just down to soybeans left for their harvest. We'll get this hay here rolled up, and I'm still gonna watching that cattle sale that just started a few minutes ago. We had talked about making a few square bales today, but decided against it. This hay did get rained on just a little, not enough to hurt it too bad, but decreases the quality of it a little bit, and just from the logistics, time factor. Just me and Dad in the hayfield today. My brother's out of town, and so everybody else is shelling corn, so we're gonna get it rolled up and make it into cow hay. Alright, there goes Dad making the last pass. I think there's right at 40 acres of grass on this farm, Bermuda grass. You see a lot of Johnson grass actually on that hillside. Probably working with Johnson grass on this place. That still makes really good hay, especially cow hay. But I think they had about half of it cut. Was planning on getting it all cut and all baled this weekend, but then that little greater chance of rain came in, so we stopped. We didn't end up really getting enough frost to matter. It was super spotty this morning, really light, so we'll still have a chance to get that cut before it gets hit with the frost. We're about ready to head back into the house. I actually did end up buying a bull over the internet on my cell phone while I was raking hay. I stopped for a few minutes when they got to the ones I was interested in, and I actually bought one. So it's about 3 o'clock now. We're gonna get back home, maybe get a little more triticale planted today, maybe finish, but I doubt it now. We'll run out of daylight before we can finish, but get a little more done today, get up, get him early in the morning. If it doesn't rain tomorrow, we'll get done planting that tomorrow afternoon, and we'll have made for a long but fairly productive weekend. But all right, so an update, we actually did go ahead and finish up planting that triticale now yesterday afternoon as soon as we got done rolling that hay, which we were glad to do because we ended up getting a nice little rain shower this morning, about 3/4 of an inch while we were gone to get the new bull. So the original plan was if it didn't rain too much, we would have tried to finish planting this afternoon, but again, thankfully we went ahead and got all that done, so we don't have to now. Wouldn't have been able to this afternoon if we wanted to, but anyway, that'll wrap it up for this video. We'll introduce you to the new bull. Actually, you can see him over there. He's kind of getting settled in. Not wanting to bother him too much, but anyway, that'll do it for this video. Y'all want to wave bye?
Bye.
Say eat beef and God bless.
Bye beef. Bye beef.
Say eat beef and God bless.
Eat beef and God bless.